I think Mom and Dad got married in June about 15th or somewhere in there.
14.
That's like
14.
14th, we got married.
Yeah.
Yeah, 14th we got married in June of 59. And then there was 4 of us kids, me, I was the oldest, Kathy, and Rocky, and Ron. One thing I can certainly say, learned about Dad and Vern, I certainly learned over a lifetime is that they certainly taught us that brothers can be best friends. Vern looked out for Dad when he was little, he said, and I know that Dad looked out for Vern a lot when they got older. So it was a lifetime friendship, and that's certainly a lesson that we all can learn from that. So, but anyway, Dad's been farming. He's still working same place. Been living on the same farm for as long as I can remember. I guess 50-some years. And I'm just going to close with a little story, and maybe this could be a prelude to in the future, because like I said, there's only 5. And we could, as cousins, could start telling some stories. Matter of fact, I kind of got the idea of this at Guy's prayer service with Debbie, telling stories about Guy and stuff. I mean, if we get Debbie up here and Russ, we get them to, that'd be like hiring Williams and Reed. And there'd be a lot of cousin stories we could go on. Yeah, that'd be good. But they would be true as well. But nevertheless, I'll just tell you one story. It's kind of like probably a good Bertram story, because Sherry Lynn was telling, and I could kind of relate to some of that. But I remember I'd have been a sophomore, about the same age Dad was trying to help my mother out at that age. But good friend of mine, still a good friend today, Dan Rannick. And this is the time we didn't have cell phones. We did not even have answering machines. But anyway, it would have been sometime in June, and Dan was in the Gregory Hospital. And this would have been between, I just got out my sophomore year. It had been the summer between my sophomore and junior year. It had been 76, the drought of 76. We had the blizzard of 52, and then the drought of 76, yes. Well, 76, Dan Rannick was in the hospital. Well, Kathy and I, we talked Dad into letting us go see Dan in the hospital, because we were going to make sure he's all right. Well, we get to Gregory, they let him out. See, today you just text. Or put her on Facebook, and you wouldn't have to waste that trip. Well, then we had to hunt him down, because we thought, well, if he's out of the hospital, we got to still make sure he's okay. We found him at the Clearfield Bar. And that's where he was. He had to finish his healing process at the Clearfield Bar. So we went to Clearfield Bar to make sure he was all right. And Dad doesn't even know, he probably doesn't, well, he may start to remember this, but he doesn't know all the intricacies of how this developed, or how this finished up. But anyway, he got the laid after we kind of made sure Dan was okay. And I thought, just for one time, usually you go home and you sneak home. But this time, for some stupid reason, I thought, I better call, because it was during the weekday, I better call and just let them know that where we're at and we're coming home. Well, the first thing out of Dad's mouth was, you get your butt home right now. Well, I had the old Chrysler, and so I said, Kat, we gotta go. Dad said to get our butts home right now. So we jumped in, and I don't know how fast I was going, because the speedometer was broke. It just laid all the way over to this direction. And I got a flat tire on the front driver's side going down Ron Lake Road. I just traveled that this morning. I thought of this. But I got a flat tire on the front driver's side, and by the time I got that vehicle stopped, the tire was gone. And the speedometer was still broke, because I must have stopped fast and it flipped and went all the way to the other side when I got it stopped. So otherwise I'd tell you how fast I was going, but I can't do that. But anyway, so I gather the tire up and put on a spare, and all the way home, I'm like, oh boy, how am I gonna tell Dad? He's gonna kill me when he sees this tire. What am I gonna do? So I go to bed and I'm laying there and I'm like, what am I gonna do? I thought, you know what? I gotta bury that tire. I can't let him see that tire or he'll kill me. So I got up in the middle of the night, so I went out to the trees in the north of the hog house, and I dug a hole as deep as I could dig it, and I buried that tire in that hole and covered it all up, made it all nice and smooth. Fortunately, I think I had a full moon so I could see somewhat. But I got that tire buried. Got all done, went back to bed. I don't know what time it was by then, 3, 4 in the morning, I suppose. And I'm laying there, falling asleep, and all of a sudden I just, oh heck, that's not gonna work. He's gonna ask where that tire is because I got the spare on it. So up I get again. Went out and I felt like an old dog digging up his bone. I'm out there and I'm like, why did I bury this so deep? So I dug it all up again. Dug the tire, shook the dirt off, filled the hole up. Thought, well, okay, I'm just going to have to tell him and take my licking. And by then it was about time to start milking cows anyway, because it was starting to get light. I spent all night burying the tire and digging it up. We got done milking cows. I got my deal up. I says, Dad, that flat tire, I suppose, I don't know what happened to it, but when it went flat, it just kind of like started to fall apart. He said, oh, those stupid retreads, I'm not ever buying any more than them. And I'm like, that's it? That's all there is? After all that work, we're not buying any more retreads.